Yes, please, the Ways and Means meeting is, please call the roll.
Alderman Kennedy?
Here.
Alderman Moore? Alderman French? Alderman Vaquero?
Present.
Alderman Carter?
Present.
Alderwoman Murphy?
Here.
Alderman Ogilvy?
Here. Here.
Chairman Conway. We have 5 present, and we have a quorum.
We're going to hear first Board Bill 289,
At 9 o'clock, not 9.
Alderman Roddy and Dave Sweeney. Dave, why don't you come up too? Okay. We can bring everyone up.
Yeah, please, go ahead.
Mr. Chairman, members of the committee, this is a 1% community improvement district tax for a project that I think is really exciting for St. Louis. It's the old Armory building, which is below Highway 40. To put some perspective in this, this is north of Choteau and kind of below Grand and Highway 40 there. And what's significant about it, I guess, is that when SSM agreed to purchase the Tenon Hospital, that has, as kind of expected, stimulated a great deal of interest in the area. SSM will be investing $550 million south of Choteau. And then that should unleash about $200 million or so of reinvestment by the St. Louis U Medical School. So that collectively will be nearly $750 million of construction going in south of Choteau. And this area has always been of a great deal of interest, how to connect the SLU campus with the North Campus, the Frost Campus, with the medical school campus. And so we've recently passed as a board a 353 plan that connected all of that. And SLU and SSM have formed an entity that's the holder of those 353 rights. This particular project is one of the projects that have spun out of that. The other one is the Armory, which is across Highway 40 from this. We're here today because we're seeking to have a 1% community improvement district tax placed on this. The 1% would be split. Half of it would go to a TIF that we've adopted. I don't know if we've adopted officially yet, but we're in the process of adopting, losing track of everything that's going on. The other 0.5% would stay within the district. The idea would be that as we, build out the district, we're going to need some additional resources to provide infrastructure improvements. We're going to need potentially security and transportation issues. We're looking at the Great Rivers Greenway will be coming through this area, connecting at the Federal Mogul site. In the Federal Mogul site are what we call the Foundry Project. There is an abandoned rail spur that goes over Vandevener that'll be part of the Greenway and eventually land over into Cortex and take us out through the park. So it's, I think, going to be a very special area. But to make sure that it's, appropriately designed, maintained, and secured, we're needing some recurring revenue to make sure that stuff is, the improvements are here and well-maintained decades, if not centuries from now. So that's the purpose of the Community Improvement District tax.
Okay, thank you. I'll just ask if anyone has questions. Okay, seeing no questions, I would make a motion we pass Board Bill 289 out with a due pass recommendation.
Second.
We have seconded. Mr. Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Alderman Kennedy?
Aye.
Alderman Carter?
Aye.
Alderwoman Murphy?
Aye.
Alderman Ogilvy?
Aye.
Vice Chair Vaquero?
Aye.
We have 5 ayes and 0 noes.
Thank you. Let's see. Joe, you have Bill
300.
300. So if you want to just stay up there, we'll just go through that real quick.
I know that's out in Kings Oak.
You're recognized on Board Bill 300.
This also is a community improvement district. It's a relatively small one for just a couple property owners, and the idea is that the infrastructure along Kings Highway there has gotten so bad that we had several businesses wanting to improve the area, but the question was how do you pay for it and allocate the cost, and they were informed of the benefits of the Community Improvement District, and so therefore they requested that we enact this for them to help make those improvements. This is near the intersection of Kings Highway and Manchester. We've got we had an older building up there that we had hoped to save, and when they got into starting to do it, it turned out to be far worse than what they anticipated, so they ended up developing, it's the Subway shop there and the adjoining business, but the Subway was just really cooperative in the design of that. If anybody's been by there and seen that, it was designed, kind of age appropriately. It was put up, on, in scale, and then it was moved up to the sidewalk, and it was, I think, very sensitive, and the owner was very supportive of maintaining a quality-looking building, which was, I think, important for the neighborhood. So this we thought was kind of an appropriate thing for he and the adjoining businesses to kind of clean up the infrastructure around the building.
Okay, thank you. Any questions on Board Bill 300? Seeing no questions, I'd make a motion we pass Board Bill 300 out with a due pass recommendation.
Second, previous row.
We have a second and a previous roll. Seeing no objection to previous roll, Board Bill 300 passes out with a due pass recommendation. Thank you.
Thank you.
Alderman Roddy. I
Thank you
appreciate it. Board Bill 304, where's the alderman at?
I know that the alderman wants this to be handled today. Jim Caravaglia was here to speak to it.
Can he introduce something, or do I have to have one of the guys go up? Terry,
Probably best for somebody to stand
Terry,
up.
can you go up and introduce Board Bill 300?
It's an amendment to a lease, an ordinance that's been issued.
And we'll let, we just need someone on the board to introduce it, but we'll let Jim talk on it.
Yes, Mr.
Yeah,
Vice Chair.
I'm sorry.
Members of the committee, this board bill is an amendment to Ordinance 70419, and we do have here to explain.
Sure, please, if you would, Jim.
Okay. Thank you, Alderman, Mr. Vice Chair, members of the committee. As the Alderman said, this is a board bill that will repeal 70419. 70419 was passed using a first draft of the lease you have before you, and we're attempting to correct that now. From the handout, you can see that the Alderman from the 3rd wants to lease the former 5th District Police Station on Penrose to Sun Ministries. They will take over the building and maintain it, and as you can see there, they intend to use it for community enrichment and other purposes that the Sun Ministries will bring to the community. But more importantly, it was the Alderman's express wish, and this is what wasn't in the previous bill, that this building be made available to the community as a gathering site for meetings and other activities deemed, necessary, that the alderman could have his community meetings there and so forth. So that's what this is about. It's for 5 years. It's $1 a year because Sun Ministries is going to take over the day-to-day upkeep, maintenance, and pay all the utilities. And it's renewable past the 60-month mark, which is why it's here rather than at E&A. So we respectfully ask for your approval of this bill.
That's fine. Any questions? Well, Terry's, okay, so it's okay to start? Okay. Chris?
So this is the old building that the treasurer was using, right?
That's correct. The treasurer moved out of it a couple of years ago, moved their parking meter operations back downtown and consolidated out of that building. And so we've been trying to find just the right use for it. And as you know, it's right across the street from a park.
Right.
And Sun Ministries is going to capitalize on that as well with some some youth activities in the summer, and then a number of other training and education, reading and remedial education programs for adults, and teaching some skills. As you know, they have an extensive program. They have a restaurant, they have a woodworking shop, they have a number of other things, and some of that is going to go here.
Yeah, this is a nice building. Do they still have the jail cells in it?
No, they're actually wanting to remove those so that they can actually create more space for their programming.
All right, no further questions.
Anyone else on the committee? Questions? Yes.
The city owns the building? Is that?
We do. When the super centers were built, as they tell me, back in the late 80s, in exchange for putting up the money to bond out the construction costs, the police department transferred all of the existing district stations to the city, and one by one, they were either sold or put into government use. So that's how we came to acquire it.
Did that? Terry, any questions? No. Seeing no other questions, I'll let you close on that.
Well, I would appreciate your favorable support on behalf of the Alderman from the 3rd.
Then I would ask that we pass Board Bill 304 out with a due pass recommendation.
Second, previous roll.
A second, no objection to previous roll. Board Bill 304 passes out. Thank you, everyone, for coming in today.
Thank you all.
We're done.
Thank you.
It was quicker.